Don't you hate when you need to use your sander but can't find any sanding discs? Well, this video will help you solve that problem. First, I start by cutting 4 6-inch pieces of 1/2-inch plywood on the table saw sled. Now I'm going to cross cut 2 of them to 9 inches long and the other 2 to 10 inches long. I'm planning on storing 5 different grits in this when it's done, so I'm taking the 10-inch pieces, I've clamped them together, and I'm marking out 2-inch pieces to cut dados. I cut the dados on the table saw sled for the dividers for the sandpaper, and I just make multiple cuts and test fit the dividers until I have a perfect fit. Now that the dados are cut, you can see that the top and the bottom line up perfectly. Now I'm combining all 4 pieces, making sure that the 10-inch sections still have the dados lining up, and I first attach them with brads, and then I come back and put 2 screws on each side of each shelf just to make it more sturdy. And the screws I use are 1.5 inches in length. I have to cut a rabbet in the back of the shelf that is at a depth of 3/16 of an inch so that the back plate fits in flush. I cut the back panel about 1 inch too long. I later come back and cut that shorter around the corners because I didn't use a chisel to square the corners for the back to fit in. I secure the back with 4 brads. I don't use any glue in case I had to take it off later down the road. I test that the sander has plenty of room to sit on the top shelf. I didn't show cutting the dividers, but they're just over 5 3/4 of an inch by 6.5 inches. Since it was a tight fit, I didn't use any glue. I knew I needed a way to make sure that the sanding disc wouldn't roll out, so I cut a piece of wood at a 45-degree angle that I then cut into just under 2-inch pieces in length. I glued in each piece in between each divider, and I secured them with 2 brads underneath. So I test to make sure that the discs will not fall out, and I think it will work. I put a piece of wood on the bottom of the back of the shelf, which is the same thickness of the French cleat, so that it will prevent the shelf from rocking when it's hung on the wall. And I attach it with glue and brads. Now I attach the French cleat with 3 screws, and I make sure that the screws go into the top shelf because just the back plywood would not be secure enough to hold it. I make sure that the French cleat holds the shelf securely to the wall. Last, I add my sanding disc and my sander, and I'm pretty happy how it turned out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and be on the lookout for more shop organization videos in coming weeks.